My first guest tonight is the host of TV's #1 rated daytime talk show. Please welcome Dr. Phil.
Well, you got them everywhere.
Yeah, we got people packed everywhere in here. Now, Dr. Phil, you've been America's psychologist. How do you describe yourself?
Whatever.
Okay. You've been a shoulder for America to cry on, lean on for 16 seasons. We are dealing with a psychological problem in America right now. Let's talk about. Just
one.
Well, I'm not sure what they're clapping about, but let's talk about there's been a rash of revelations about people engaging in sexual harassment and sexual abuse. Harvey Weinstein, you know, the person, the revelation sort of kicked off this latest round of revelations. He went to therapy for sex addiction for 1 week. Does it work that way? Is he like, all good?
No.
It's a family show, Doctor. It's a family show.
No, come
Dr.
on.
Phil.
I mean, you got a chronic 30-year layered multi-problem that's got so many dimensions you couldn't unravel it in 30 years. And somebody goes for a week and says, gotcha. No.
Well, I'm not familiar with it. If someone, first of all, is sex addiction a thing, do you believe?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. Now, I will say this. In the industry, there is a big debate about this, and there are a lot of professionals that I have great respect for that will argue that it is a thing. Now, the DSM-5, the American Psychiatric Association Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, doesn't have it in there. They don't recognize it. They don't consider it to be a disorder. A lot of people I respect do. I'm not one of them. I think it's one of those things that when your wife catches you, you go, oh my God, devil made me do it. It's an addiction. Let the healing begin. I hate it when they say that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a thing. Now,
so it's just a form of selfishness.
It is, but I'm not saying that there's not pathology there, because I think in certainly cases like you're talking about here, there is severe pathology there. I just don't think it's a sexual addiction.
So if someone goes to a sexual addiction clinic or to treat for this, what happens? Does the person say, I feel like having sex, and they go, don't feel that anymore?
Right.
What is it that happens to this person?
Well, they try to get them to identify what triggers the impulse. They try to desensitize them in order of saying, okay, think about that, try to calm yourself. They go through a bunch of things where you have stimuli that would normally cause you to act, and they try to get you to not be reactive to that. They try to get you to exercise impulse control, try to get you to understand why that's not acceptable, why there's moral decay, et cetera, et cetera. But I just don't think that's a thing. I just don't think that's a thing. Now,
you've never treated it. You've never.
No, because I don't think it's a thing.
You don't have sex addiction yourself.
Well, I don't think there is such a thing.
Okay.
So no.
You like sex, though. You like sex.
Well, it depends on who we're talking about. I've been married 41 years. If you're making me an offer, I'm passing.
All right, next question. Do you think this sort of thing is particularly bad in Hollywood? Because that's certainly the reputation for Hollywood. Or is this also happening, you know, is like the manager of a grocery store in Iowa, is it happening everywhere?
You know, I've probably done 150 shows about this kind of thing. The only reason that it's in the press now is because America likes to talk about pretty people with problems.
But
so,
Harvey Weinstein is not.
Well, it's not him. It's the.
Oh, right.
It's the complainants.
Yeah.
But this happens in every walk of life in America, where it's a line supervisor in a factory, talking about a factory worker, whether it's a grocery store manager, talking about somebody working on the produce aisle. It's not any more rampant there than it is in any other part of America, and it doesn't have anything to do with sex. It's all about power and abuse.
Now, you don't... I know you very specifically, you don't like to get political, but I did want to ask a question for... Hypothetical question for a friend of mine, 300 million friends of mine, who are dealing with a problem. And some of them are in denial that it's a problem, and some of them have seen that it's a problem long before the problem reared its ugly head. What is the best way to deal with a bully?
We can't acknowledge this is thinly veiled.
What, this?
This is a thinly veiled hypothetical.
Purely hypothetical.
Yeah, purely hypothetical.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if you're in direct relationship with the bully or if you're someone that really doesn't have a vote on the bully.
What if you're someone who the bully, because of their position, has a lot of power over both your economic, ecological, and military future? How do you deal with a bully, Dr. Phil? Come on, don't dodge the question.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, how do you deal with a bully? Someone who seems to enjoy pushing people around.
You have to push back.
Okay, so you shouldn't quit the Senate and go home.
The Hypothetical Senate.
Hypothetical Senate, yeah.
Hypothetical Senate.
Could be the Senate from Star Wars. Don't know which Senate it is.
Hypothetically, you have to work within the system whether you like it or whether you don't. Because my dad used to say, you need to spend 5% of your time deciding whether the deal you got's a good deal or a bad deal, and 95% of the time deciding what the hell you're going to do about it. And this deal, a lot of people think's a bad deal. Okay, bad deal. That's the deal you got. What are you going to do about it? Okay, so working it on midterm elections. Work on doing different things. Hypothetically. The Hypothetical Senate.
How do you deal with a liar? Is there any way to catch somebody? What if somebody is repeatedly caught in a lie and doesn't care? Can that person ever be held to task for the unbelievable morass of lies that they swim around in like it's fish in filth?
Well, okay. Hypothetically, there are different people lie for different reasons.
Yes.
And if you have a compulsive liar,
You just seem to like it.
if you have a sociopathic liar that has no remorse for the lies they tell,
Ding ding.
and you were to say, all right, I'm going to change this person from lying. The lies aren't hypothetical, but we're hypothetically talking about someone that does that.
Yes, exactly.
And you put that person in therapy, they tend to get worse.
What? So let's say this hypothetical person, you manage to, by laying bits of cheese out or something, and you get them into a room with, say, a Dr. Phil, and you slam the door shut and you go, deal with me now, Bubba. And it would make it worse for you to be treating this person?
It would, and let me tell you why. There are two particular types of people that are difficult to deal with in therapy. One is the paranoid that really does have somebody after them. That's tough. And there are those people that are very paranoid, but they do have certain people in their life that are trying to persecute them, but not near as much as they think. And the others are what most people call sociopaths, psychopaths, what are now called antisocial personalities. They get into therapy and they learn from the therapist how to behave in a way that looks better. They learn the symbol systems. They learn how to mimic empathy. They learn how to do the things that make them look better, and then they take that and use it to victimize the next wave of people they come into. They don't get better. You're just training them to get better at what they do bad.
And it would help if this person was really intelligent and has a good brain and has all the best words and went to an Ivy League school.
Well, actually, if you hypothetically had someone like that, then that helps because they're not reading the room and realizing that they're kind of outing themselves by being that transparent.
Do you have hope for the psychological state of our country?
I do. I am a incurable optimist, and I see, even in the worst tragedies, when we had the Las Vegas shooting, and I hate to be such a downer, but I was invited to go to the hospital there and talk to some of the shooting victims. And I did, and I tell you, when I saw the human spirit among those people and saw how those people came together in that field at the time and how they helped each other and drug each other to safety and came together, I tell you, my faith in human nature was lifted in a way you can't even imagine. Those people came together and struggled to help each other, people they didn't even know. And the way they got into the trauma center, and instead of saying, take care of me, I talked to those trauma doctors and they said, you know what? They were saying, she looks worse, take care of her, I can wait, I'll, do this, help that. I just was really uplifted by seeing how people responded to that. And I don't think crisis make heroes. I think crisis reveal who you were before it happened. And I think we saw a lot of that in Las Vegas.
Well, it's a nice thought to take into the weekend. Thank you, Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil airs weekdays nationwide. Dr. Phil, everybody. We'll be right back.